Hi there, who am I doing? Pisces, how are you? It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net doing a February reading. I'm going to do a bonus little love reading at the end here. If I'm not lazy, I'll try to bookmark it, but I may be lazy. I'm using a different deck of cards, so you can try to fast forward through until you see a different deck. So I've been trying to keep these short, and they haven't been. I'm really going to try to keep them short because they're just too long, and I don't think people like really long readings. So if you watch your rising and moon and you're like, hey, that was twice as long, I'm trying to do you a favor and keep it short. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. And for me, this is a card about boundaries. And other people's boundaries, your boundaries, are they too strong? Are they too weak? Something to examine. Traditionally, this guy is the guy hoarding his money and so worried about his money he'll spend more time and energy protecting his money to the detriment of his family and relationships. Like his priorities are screwed up. So you want to think about, am I with someone, a business partner, a romantic partner, a friendship, and these people usually have super strong boundaries, but totally blow through yours, right? So you got to think about, like, who are these people in my life? Do I have any of these in my life? And then how are my boundaries? How do I set boundaries? Am I too loose with them? Am I too rigid with them? So it's just something you might want to think about this month. You do have this gorgeous Eight of Wands. This is the Vicevesra tarot, so it has two different depictions. But the Eight of Wands is a really, I think I was drawn right to it. I like this card. It can feel fast for some people, but it's very fast moving. It's love coming in. It's a new job. It's a new opportunity. And sometimes when it happens, it can feel very sudden. But we have launched these wands. We've put them into motion, into play. It's kind of like if you have a crush on someone and all of a sudden, like, they ask you out and then you're like, you get all like superficial and stupid and you're like, do I really think they're cute? What are other people going to think? And you like self-sabotage, which is basically all that is about. Because it's almost like the opportunity's here and we panic because we feel like we don't have time to process. But you wanted this to happen, so embrace these new beginnings, this new love, this new job, this new opportunity, this new thing coming into your life this month. And don't, out of fear, put up a boundary and deflect them off because you're self-sabotaging. Some of you, it can be a new job. We have this new Page of Pentacles. And he's when you start to learn to have patience, that things are a process, that if you start putting away $5 a week, it adds up. You can start to see how planning and planting a seed can then grow into a tree. You're starting to understand that. I like in the Anna K Tarot, it shows a young person fishing, and it brings up a pentacle, and he's like, oh, because fishing takes a lot of patience, and you have to be still and be quiet and be willing to defer instant gratification and know that it's something you may have to wait for, but if you never start, you're never going to have the payoff if you don't start saving, start doing that. You also have the Knight of Pentacles, so that is like double time. This is a month to really start laying the foundation for what you want to bring into your life. If you want to buy a house, start saving. Even if it's just $5 a week, just open that account and start. If you want to go on travel, go on vacation, start saving, start looking on the internet, start figuring out where you want to go and how to make it happen. This is a lot of planning, but all the more planning and real tangible concrete work that you can do. You're just stacking the deck for success. So some of you actually may need to be more strong in your boundaries around money and saving your money. And it could be with yourself. Like, hey, I need to be careful about my savings here. There is something you're going to be done with. Some readings have been very cohesive. Yours is a little more fragmented. So I'm getting lots of little different messages. You are absolutely done with something. You're not dealing with it anymore. You're like, not happening, not tolerating it. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't look like there's anyone in this armor. It's like that guy's like, that way of life, that me, this fighting, this stress, this arguing, that combative, dramatic side of me, like, I'm not that person. That was just the shell of a person. That was just fear and anger projected outward. And that's not me anymore. I don't need this armor to hide behind. I am okay now. I'm letting that go. I'm letting that need to just fight and be right. And, you know people like that. It's like a level of calmness and peace. Just, letting go, slowing down, being grounded. We don't have, we have one cup card. We have the 3 of Cups. We don't have much water on the table for this water sign. And this is just feeling supportive with your friends, healing. It's just a nice card to have on the table. But you're really focused on, we have the Queen of Cups. I'm lying all over the place. We also have the Queen. Emotional maturity. She's not a drama queen. In her negative, she would, but I don't have cards around. I have the Death card, and to me that is transformation. So if you have been someone that have been caught up in a situation with someone, or you've tended to be really anxious and overreactive and really propelled by your emotions, you're transforming. It's like, I'm done with that. I'm moving on. Because the Queen of Cups, if she gets an email that kind of makes her upset, she sleeps on it. She doesn't bite back. She comes back with compassion and professionalism. She doesn't up the drama. She doesn't keep upping the ante on stuff like that. She's able to acknowledge, like, well, that kind of pissed me off, but I don't know what that person's going through. I'm at work, so I'm still going to be professional. I'm a respectful, professional person in my friendships and my relationships, and I don't get sucked down to someone's level. I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm secure in where I am. You also have the King of Swords, and he's very, like, you're being very practical. You're making lists. You're just really focused this month on implementing something and making it happen. And you're not up in your head. You're not all emotional about it. You're just really grounded and making things happen. You want a new job. You want a new health routine. You want, and I forgot, there's this Hierophant. It's like you've learned a lesson. You've really gained some wisdom, and you're putting that wisdom into action. Like, it's like, I'm not getting in a pissing contest with a skunk anymore, as my dad would say. Like, I'm just not allowing someone to get under my skin anymore and get me worked up. I'm having boundaries, and I'm separating myself from other people. I mean, sometimes you have to enforce something, and if the other person freaks out, that's on them. If someone's speeding and a policeman pulls them over and they're going to have a pissy fit and they were speeding, it's like, it is not that officer's fault. Like, it isn't. You can say he's a dick or she's a jerk or whatever. It's not their fault. You were breaking the law. So if you have to set some boundaries and someone else has a fit, you're not going to get sucked in. It's just like, That's your choice to react that way. But these are my boundaries, and you don't get to walk all over them. Okay, we're going to do a quick love reading. Trying to get through these. I want to keep them under 10 minutes. I'm getting closer. Knight of Swords, change your thinking. Six of Wands, victory. This is going to be very successful for you in all areas of life. Yeah, if you were a person, we had this Nine of Swords that worried and tried to. Sometimes this worrying is like, how can I control this situation? How can I manipulate this situation? And it's not from a nasty way. How can I make it work? And it's like, I'm changing my thinking. I'm letting go. I'm just going to let that shit go. Leave it behind me. I'm going to be more patient. I'm going to be less reactive. And let things sort of work their way out and be patient and not feel like I have to react to something. And it's going to be extremely successful for you in relationships in all areas of your life. So you will find a successful relationship. You will work through a difficult time. You may have to leave it. It may just be you being confident and showing someone that you can't be pushed around and having boundaries. It's all going to be a very successful strategy for you. Thank you so much for watching, Pisces. Have a great month.